So hello everyone. So in this video I want to talk about that why radicalization and extremism is not good for our country, or for basically for India it's not good, and how I will give you some examples of the countries basically who went for one country and one religion, and now the tables have turned, and if you will now see the economic development and the social development of those countries, it's not really impressive. So first of all, I start with why all these narratives that are being promoted on the internet, that we have to make. And first of all, I would like to give you a slight spoiler about the next 10 to 15 minutes, that it is going to be quite, you can say, controversial, because the terms that I'm going to use it in this video maybe it do become quite controversial. So that's why I'm giving you the spoilers initially in the initial part of the video. So I would like to continue with the video. First of all is that why am I making this video, and what's my vision regarding my channel and my basically my content. So the first thing is that why we don't want to make, you have heard this narrative that we have to make India Hindu rashtra, and then you have also heard this term making India a Gazwa-e-hind. I don't know how many of you know this thing, but there is a term called making basically India 100% Islamic state, or if you will see, making India a Hindu rashtra. Like, why these narratives are not good for our country? You listen to me for the 10 to 15 minutes. I will like to give you some arguments, and if you really believe in that, you can give your counterparts in the comment section. It is open for all. So first of all is that why am I making this video? I don't know how many of you know this thing, but from the last 10 years there has been a line of division that has been created in between the two largest communities of our country, and we all know those two largest communities of our country, which is basically Hindus and Muslims, right? So if in this video, why am I talking about is that there is a imaginary line which has been created by a certain people who are upholding the biggest position in our country for their political power, for their political gain. There has been a line of division which has been created in between the two largest communities of our country, right? So why it is not good for our country? Because I tell you some arguments, and you have to think about it, right? The first is, any country in this world, if you will see the history, and there has been a number of records in the past where any country who went for a single religion, single country, or you can say single community, single country, their economic development and the depreciation graph of their of that particular country have started. I will give you numerous examples. For example, there are so many countries which are in the Middle East. For example, Iran, Syria, you see, Somalia, Yemen, Syria, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, right? So these all countries were created on the vision that we would like to live in our country by only having our own religion, the first most priority, right? And now just see the condition of that country right now. We can see our neighboring countries, which was formed on the basis that when India was partitioned in 1947, Ali Jinnah, which was a political leader back then, he stated in one of his conversation with our great Mahatma Gandhi that Hindu and Muslims can't live in a single country. So he demanded for that partition, and that's when the East Pakistan and the West Pakistan was created, on that that the Hindu and Muslims of this country can't live together. Now, after 75 years of that independence, you can see what is the condition of Pakistan, and what is the condition of Bangladesh also. They are not they are not that much developed, right? You can see that Pakistan is going through a huge economic crisis. If you will see Afghanistan was liberated for 20 years. Now the terrorist organization have overseized all the powers of the Afghanistan, right? You can go to Iraq, you can go to Syria, Yemen, Somalia. All these countries were made on the initial thought process for making these countries was that we want to make a country which will only have one religion, and that would be our first priority. Okay, so that was my first argument that I gave it in this video, that did you really think India, what is our biggest strength as India, what is our biggest strength? I'll give you some points. As an India, our biggest strength is our diversification, right? And I know there are always a lot of ideological differences between Hindus and Muslims, and those differences, basically you can't put them above national interest, right? Because just imagine any party or any set of people who are demanding for certain, you can say, for certain policies or for certain rules, what will happen to them if the people will not support them, right? That is the reason why Pakistan and when Bangladesh got liberated in 1971-72, those countries were made by the initial thought process that we will only have the majority set of our people. And now you can see those economic development, and you can also see those countries are not having a really good time. They are struggling right now. So see, these are the already happened examples that are in our in the present, from where we can learn that why we don't want our India to be like a Hindu rashtra, or you can there are also terms like used like Gazwa-e-hind, to make basically India an Islamic state. So in this video I want to also give a little argument to the Indian Muslims, basically to the Muslims of our country. Did you really think India, after in making India an Islamic state, did you really think you would have credibility? No, you won't, because you won't be able to survive. Because the thing is, India and its biggest strength is the people and the mixture of people who are living under the one shed, right? And if we will try to play with that diversification, India will lose its credibility. You see, the most developed countries in the world, you go to US, Europe, Australia, you go to these countries and you will see the most developed countries in this world never follow some sort of extremism, right? They always promote secularism, they always promote fraternity, they always promote people from the different caste, color, culture, race to come in one country and live together. But the narrative of only promoting one country, one religion has never been a great idea. And you can see the examples. There are numbers of examples. 20 countries are there who have an initial thought process of making one country or one religion, but they won't able to do it. So that is the thing, that India will lose its credibility, and if people would like to play with the diversification of a country, and that is our biggest strength, and that's why we shouldn't ask for that, except in return we should ask for something which has never been put it out into the public domain. So you can see that the Middle Eastern countries, if you will see closely, those areas were least developed areas in the world except Saudi Arabia. And if you also see Saudi Arabia, it promotes fraternity, and that is why Saudi Arabia is one of the biggest tourist countries in the world, because it promotes the people from the different color, culture, race without any segregation, without any apartheid. It promotes the people to come from different countries and to live in Saudi. I give you a very simple statistic. So in Saudi Arabia, there are 3.1 million Indians are living there. If you also heard this news, which was published I think 2-3 months back, where I think a mandir was being constructed in Saudi Arabia. So you can just imagine a Islamic state, a country, is promoting the people of India and their religious beliefs. They are not threatening their religious belief, their religious ideologies, right? And that is why Saudi Arabia is their tourism is one of the biggest, you can say, economic generator for them after oil money. So that is the reason why we shouldn't, as an Indian, because I was born in Kota, I know I was born in Rajasthan basically, and then after that, I'm doing my graduation. But just seeing all these sort of narratives, on the internet, if you will go, from both the side, from the right wing side, from the left wing side. The right wing is asking for, making India Hindu rashtra, or if you will see from the extremist people asking that making India a Islamic state by 2040, by 2050. I just want to give a simple thought process to the people of both the sides, right? From this side and from that side, that India will lose its credibility if we will go for that both of the directions. India will lose its credibility. We are what we are because of the people and the diversity and the culture that we own. And that is why we have the most important spot, on the world and on the geopolitics as well. So that is my humble request to all the people. If you are watching this video, I don't want to elongate this video more than 20 minutes, but I'm just trying to make things very clear that, these religious politics and these caste politics always restricts development, because whenever we will think about this religious development and this casteist development, we will not prefer the economic growth, we will not prefer inflation, we will not prefer unemployment, we will not prefer the you can say suppression of the poor people. We will have suppressing basically the poor people. We will never prefer these topics. What we will prefer our religious things. That if this party will come in power, we will feel secure, and if this party will come in power, we will feel secure. So in India, I don't know, we had our Lok Sabha elections. We has just finished 2 weeks back, and I just give you a very, because obviously I had a lot of interest in politics and in geopolitics, international relations and all those things. I'll give you a very simple example that how India is lagging behind. India can't fight with the Western countries because we are retarded, because we people are so much involved in the religious politics and in the casteist politics now, that we want, our first priority is always giving vote to the party which will make us feel secure. So I give you a very simple example, right? In India, I'm giving you the example of India. In India, there is a narrative which states that if BJP will come in power, if it will come in power, the Hindus of this country will feel secure, right? And if Congress will come in power, the Muslims of this country will feel secure. Now just imagine that our politics has been degraded to such extent that a party who is coming in power, making the single largest community of this country feeling unsecure. Can you just imagine? Isn't it thought-provoking? Because a party who is coming in power and a certain section of the people are feeling secure, are feeling very well, and a certain section of the people who are belonging to a different religion obviously, but living in the same country, are feeling very insecure. So just imagine how much the politics of India has been degraded to such extent where people what is the population of people in our country for Hindus? I think 800 million. And what is the population for Muslims in our country? I think 200 million, right? A party who is coming in power, for example, if BJP will come in power, the 800 million people of this country will feel secure. And this is a general narrative which is always promoted on the social media, on the Twitter account. You can go, you can watch. So these narrative is always promoted that if BJP will come in power, the Hindus of this country will feel very secure. And if Congress will come in power, then the Muslims of this country will feel very secure. And we are living in 2024, right? We are living in 2024 where every day there is new... I am a computer science student, right? Every day there is... If I am learning right now React.js, there is a different set of obviously programming languages that has been made. and React.js is not even used by those companies, and I'm learning right now that every day we are introducing with new technology. Every day there is something new which is getting made around the globe, and here what we are fighting at, we are fighting at the religion and at the caste and at the people. If you are a Yadav, you should only vote for Yadav. If you are a Rajput, you should give vote to Rajput. If you are a Patel, you should only vote for the Patel. Here what we are fighting for, and this is why why the subcontinent of this Asia won't be able to fight with those Western countries, those Americas and Europeans. They are ahead. Why? Because there is a reason. There is a reason why they are ahead, because they don't have these very these are not a very good topics to fight your election, right? So I thought I would be able to give you certain arguments at which you can think about it, that why it is not good to basically promote casteism and religion. We shouldn't include, because what, I give you a very simple example that why religion and these caste thing is not good for politics. Why it is? Because the thing is that these things are very sensitive. Whenever we talk about religion is a very sensitive thing, okay? Because people really believes in that thing. People have a huge connection with their religious beliefs, and if someone will try to provoke that, it will basically hurt the people's sentiments for whichever the religion they are following, right? So it is a very sensitive thing. So the more we will keep these things aside from the politics, there would be basically a more growth. There would be basically a field of view where we can see more growth. And that is why my narrative of making this video is to basically just remove the narrative of religion, politics, and you can say, because we are living in India. In the last 10 to 15 years, you can see that there has been a slight hate that is being developed in between the two communities of this country, right? And also there is one topic which I wanted to cover it up in this video in the last part of the video, that there is also one concept that why there's narratives like Hindu rashtra, or like for Muslims it's like for not basically the extremists and the radicals, for them the narrative of like Gazwa-e-hind, like what is it, like making India an Islamist state. That's what you want to think. I have given you number of examples. There are 20 examples that I given you which went for one religion in one country, and now the economy have a depreciating graph. Like it's not being getting above a certain level. So I'm giving you the examples that why we should not include these religion and these things in our politics. And we should run, and we should do our elections and keeping these things aside from the politics. So I hope I would be able to relate with you that why we shouldn't include all these, because these polarization in politics, always remember, polarization in politics is directly proportional to is inversely proportional to development of the country. The more you will polarize the people, that there is a less percentage of growth, because it is inversely proportional. There is a less percentage of growth that you will see, and that is the reason why I'm making this video, just to promote that why we should not include religion and caste in our politics, because making India a single state country will have a huge blows on our economy as well. And we have a living examples. There are number of countries in this world who have went for that one thing, and they are now not getting back. So I hope I given you some thought-provoking, you can say, arguments, and if you really think it's logical, please give me your reviews in the comment section. I would really like to hear you. I would really like to listen to you, that what you think. So that is the reason why I'm making this video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.